Every single day I open the same apps on my Mac, so I thought it would be fun to actually show you what they are. There are 11 of them, some you'll definitely recognize, and a couple you might not have heard of. And there's one I'm reconsidering, so let's get into it. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. So the first app is Arc, and this is my web browser. I've been using it for almost 2 years now. The first thing you'll notice when you look at Arc is that the tabs are on the left, not across the top. I really like this because you can collapse the sidebar and have a full screen of whatever page you're on, or just leave it open. It's up to you. My favorite thing about Arc is the workspaces. You can have access to as many as you want. I just have 2, a personal one and a work one. It means I can be logged into both my personal Gmail and my work Gmail at the same time, but everything stays completely separate. When I'm doing personal stuff, I'm on my personal workspace, and when I'm working, I switch over to the business one. In each workspace, I have my favorite setup, so all the websites I go to regularly are just sitting there ready to go. It's just a really clean setup. I have it on my iPad and iPhone too, and everything syncs across perfectly. Arc is also built on Chromium, so you can use Chrome extensions in it as well, and it's completely free to use, which is great. What web browser is your current go-to? Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to see what other people are using. Next is Claude, my AI assistant. I use it every day for research, help with my scripts, and honestly just for anything I would normally Google. My favorite part is a feature called Co-work. It lets you give Claude access to files and apps on your Mac, and it can actually take action for you. And you're in full control of what it can access. You can choose which folders and apps you give it permission to. A good example of how I use it is I recently asked Co-work to go through my emails and my tax receipt folder on my Mac, pull out all of my receipts and enter everything into my finance spreadsheet. This is something that would have taken me hours, and it did it in a few minutes. That is just one example. There is honestly so much you can do with it. It's just one of those things that you have to try. I'm on the Pro plan, which is a monthly subscription, but there is a free version if you want to start there. Next is Notion, and this is where my entire video business lives. I'm on the free plan and it does everything I need. Notion is a productivity and planning app. I use it to manage my whole video creation process. Every idea goes in and then it moves through stages: planning, scripting, filming and editing, scheduled, and then completed, which also acts as an archive. I also have a calendar view so I can see what's coming up, and I use it to track all of my sponsorships too. At any point, I can open Notion and see exactly where every video is at. Before we get into the next app, a quick thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Surfshark is one of those apps I always make sure I have on my Mac, and it gets a lot of use when I'm out and about. It's a VPN which encrypts your internet connection and makes it much harder for anyone else on the same network to see what you're doing online. I use it most when I'm working somewhere other than home. So if I'm at a cafe with my Mac or at the airport, and I jump on public Wi-Fi, Surfshark is on before I open anything else. Because on a shared network, your data isn't private by default. It also lets you switch your virtual location, which comes in handy for things like checking flight prices or accessing content that isn't available in your country. And one account covers unlimited devices, so it's across my Mac, my iPhone, and iPad all at once. If you want to try it, go to surfshark.com/SamCamBeatus, or use code SamCamBeatus at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I'll leave a link in the description. All right, back into the apps. So this one is the one I'm sort of reconsidering, and that's Things 3. I started using it a few months ago and I really loved it at first. It's a beautiful, well-designed app, but over time I found myself missing a few things from Apple reminders. I have it set up with 2 areas, personal and work, and that's the part I really like. Everything is clean and minimal, and I love that you can see a deadline countdown right next to each task. But the 2 things that bother me are that it doesn't have natural language input. So I have to manually set the date and time on every single reminder, and it doesn't work well with Siri. I used to just tell Siri to add a reminder while I was driving, and I really miss that. So I think it might be time to head back to Apple reminders, at least until the next shiny new app comes along and distracts me. What reminders app are you using? Let me know in the comments and maybe I'll try it out. Next is Dashlane, my password manager. I've been using it for about 8 years, back when I was still on Windows and Android. It works great across my Mac, iPhone, and iPad with autofill, generates strong passwords for you, monitors the dark web for any leaked details, and all your data is encrypted. But when I jumped into my Dashlane account to check how long I had been using it, I could see exactly what I had been paying for it over the years, and it made me stop and think. I started on the free plan, which they no longer offer, and over time, the price has gone up quite a bit. And I had to ask myself, am I actually using all of those features, or am I mostly just using it for autofill passwords? Dashlane is a great app and I do recommend it, but it's worth asking yourself whether the features are actually worth the cost to you. Because if you're just using it for passwords, something like Apple Passwords is a really solid free option. This next one is called JoyType, and it's fairly new for me, but it's been a bit of a game changer. It's a voice dictation app. So instead of typing, I can just speak and it types for me. It uses what they call push to type. You hold down a key, say what you want, let it go, and it pastes it straight into whatever text box you're using. You can choose which key you want to use. I have mine set to the left control key. And what I really like is that everything happens on your device. Nothing gets sent to the cloud. Your audio stays on your Mac, which is great from a privacy perspective. I've been finding it pretty accurate and reasonably fast for everyday use. When you hold your key down to start recording, it makes a little sound so you know it's working. And you can also see the microphone and the little red record button at the top of your menu bar. And when you take your finger off, it makes another sound so you know it's stopped. For the odd occasion where you forget to click into the text box first, and I do this more than I'd like to admit, you can just go up to the JoyType icon in your menu bar and click Paste Last Transcript, and it will paste in whatever you just recorded, so nothing gets lost. JoyType is available on Setapp. Next is Obsidian, and this is my notes app for work. I've only recently started using it, but I'm really enjoying it. The thing I love most about it is that all of your notes are saved in Markdown files directly on your computer. If you ever wanted to switch to a different app, your notes will still be there on your computer and anything can read them, which is a big deal. I use it for work notes, research, and anything I want to keep long term. It's completely free unless you want to pay for their own sync service, but I just use iCloud, so it costs me nothing. Apple Notes is my personal notes app, and honestly, there's not a whole lot to say about it, but that's kind of the point. It's free, it's built into every Apple device, and it syncs across everything through iCloud. I love how easy it is just to open up, find what I need, especially when I'm out and about and I need to refer to something quickly. Drafts is my quick text dumping ground. I use it as a quick in-between space. If I need to strip formatting from something I've copied, it goes into Drafts. Or if I just need somewhere to quickly dump some text while I'm working, Drafts is where it goes. There is zero organization in there and I'm completely fine with that. Anything worth keeping goes into Obsidian or Apple Notes. CleanShot X is my screenshot and screen recording app, and I've been using it for a couple of years now. I have a shortcut set up, Option Command S, which lets me draw around any area on my screen and take a screenshot instantly. Once I've taken it, I can just copy and paste it straight into whatever I need, or just hit save and it automatically goes into a dedicated screenshots folder I have set up on my Mac. The built-in Mac screenshot tool is fine for basic stuff, but once you've used CleanShot X, it's really hard to go back. I love that you can easily annotate directly on the screenshot, add arrows, text, blur anything out, and there's also a built-in OCR, so you can highlight any part of your screen and copy the text straight from it without even taking a screenshot. For screen recordings, it's just as easy. You can choose your microphone, your camera source, and you can have a video of yourself in the corner, and you can record your full screen or just a specific area. When I'm recording, it also automatically hides desktop items so everything looks nice and clean. All of the screen recordings in this video were done with CleanShot X. And the last one is OneSwitch, which lives up in your menu bar. It's basically a collection of quick toggles for settings on your Mac. You can just click the icon in the menu bar and everything is right there. The ones I use the most are Keep Awake, which stops the screensaver from kicking in while I'm filming. Hide Widgets, which clears all of the widgets from your desktop in just one click. Lock Keyboard, which disables your keyboard. This is really handy for cleaning your keyboard without accidentally typing anything. And Show Hidden Files, which toggles the visibility of hidden files on your Mac, because I always forget the keyboard shortcut for this. You can fully customize it to only show the toggles you actually use. This one is also available on Setapp. So those are the 11 apps I open every single day on my Mac. I hope you found something useful or maybe even something new to check out. Let me know in the comments which ones you're already using or if you have any other app recommendations for me. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.